And we're live. Hey guys, welcome back to Whiskey Charlie, the War Game Chat, our monthly show on YouTube. I'm your host, Mo from Mo's Game Table, and joining me are my co-hosts, everybody's favorite Gimp with the Limp, the Gimpy Gamer, Nate Rogers. How's it going, Nate?
Hi, nice to see everybody. It's going great. Gotta say, just got in the new War Diary. We were talking about that earlier, and it keeps me apprised of things. And now I've got something else added to my list of a want.
Ooh.
What is this? Captain C
Captain
by
C.
Legion Games. I don't know if you guys know about that one, but it looks very intriguing. So I'm gonna have to add that to my list.
Stay tuned for an unboxing on that one.
Yes.
And we have the Wargaming Wizard from Oz, Kev Sharp. How's it going from the big board? How's it going,
Doing
Kev?
great. Doing great. Glad to be here.
You got a new game to talk about.
I did. Yeah.
Oh,
Box edition.
Yeah. Buddy of mine said
Oh
this to me
man, my heart.
all the way from Australia. There's actually,
Oh my heart. From Australia even. Oh my
yeah,
god.
there's actually 2 copies of it in here. A flat pack
Ooh,
version
wow.
and the regular version.
John is
impressive.
drooling right now. He's like the biggest SPI fanboy ever.
And he's the chemist.
I might challenge that. I don't know. I love SPI.
And our special guest tonight is John Dammit Kranz. Kranz from ConsimWorld. Had to throw that in there, and you guys will see in one
why.
of the slides later why we did that. But welcome to the show, John. It's great to have you back.
Great to be back. I think it's my second time. So I love watching your guys' show and what you do and covering the hobby. So thanks for giving me this invite. Looking forward to talking about the face-to-face in-person events again that are coming this year.
Yes.
Yeah, it's going to be great. Pretty soon here, we'll be in Dallas, and then you got Tempe later.
Yep, exactly.
And we already have the first question, so I'm going to jump into that right away. Ken T wants to know, joke if anybody gets it from watching the Mark Herman show. Ken wants to know, get the first question to Kranz in. Are there any plans to move ConsimWorld Tempe back to its original late June date in future years? Because it'll make it easier for him to travel from the Philippines.
I get questions about dates all the time, and we never really had a set or a date before for Expo. It changed every year. This will be our 22nd year, not counting the year we missed in 2020. Mm-hmm. So every year floated. It was either June, July, or August, and most were August near the end. And then I'll get into this a little more later because we got some feedback from last year. Last August, we actually held Expo in the middle of the COVID variant hitting, but we did hold it in August. So we'll talk about that maybe a little bit last year. And I got some specific feedback that they wanted to see what I could do to get the hotel overnight fees a little bit lower. Tempe Mission Palms is a really nice hotel, but it is, it's not $89 a night, nothing like that, right? So in order to move the hotel rates, which we did, we got some good success with the negotiations. We did drop the overnight room rate by at least $15 overnight each day. So that required us to be off season, obviously, which meant we're going to be pretty much stuck with August for a while until a lot of people tell me I don't mind paying an extra $15+ a night if I could be there in June. But to be honest, any date I do, people say that's a horrible date. If I do early June, there's conflicts for whatever reason around weddings, things like that.
End of school.
End of school, graduations. I've had people miss because of graduation ceremonies. And then flip side is August. Same thing with August. It's back in school, or it's impossible. So whenever you have like 300 people, you can sort of imagine it's impossible to make everybody meet everybody's calendar. So June's not under. So to answer John's question through Ken T, we really can't do June if I'm going to honor everybody's feedback that really wanted to see movement on the hotel rates being lower. That requires us to be off-season rate, which will be an end of August date. And that's what we have, obviously, for this coming year is late August through September, I think, 2nd.
But wait, you're saying the hotel rates were $90 a day, roughly?
No. I was saying it's Tempe Mission Palms. It's a pretty nice hotel. It's a nice property. People really like it, but it's not cheap. It's not your typical $89 thing. It's like in the $140 range, basically. So, and now with inflation hitting, I'm really happy we got the rates we got, because I know with inflation, hotel rates will start going up even more. But yeah, we got a very good rate. We got a rate that from last year, it's about $15 less than what it was last year for 2021. Plus, we got the hospitality fee dropped by about $10 a night as well, which is a separate add-on price you have to pay for that particular property. So we were able to drop prices in 2 different areas. But yeah, we had to move it to August just to have the off-season rates kick in, where they were willing to give us the rooms at a lower rate
What's
overnight.
what's the hospitality fee? Is this like the room cleaning fee? They charge you for
like
that?
it's for like internet and all these other things. It's like it's like
like
3
your
or 4
telephone bill.
services combined. I never understood it. I think they gave me a long answer. It's for these 3 or 4 things, but it's not. It's sort of unique to Tempe Mission Palms. It's not. Not every hotel has a hospitality fee. So when it was like $18-19 a night, people were like, "Whoa, come on now." So I think we got it down
What
to
the
like
hell?
we
They're
got it down to like
charging
$8
for
or
what everyone else
$9.
charges doesn't charge for. It's included in the room. Where they
You
going to
haven't
start
been to
charging you
many
to
of-
use the bathroom?
It's something that's always been there. It's been
Mhm.
there for like 20 years.
You
That's how
haven't
that
been to many
hotel works,
hotels
so.
lately, have you? Gimpy?
But
No.
I had to respond to the feedback. So they were telling me, you know, we're getting older now, which I can totally relate to. It's been over 20 years. And most of the people I know from 20 years ago, and they're like, some people are now on fixed retirement incomes as well. So it was a more serious request, like do what you can, John, to negotiate with the hotel. So that's the long story, which I can't really make short now. But,
Well,
I
that
tried to
will
answer
have
future
you-
questions shorter, but that was that's the background behind it for full disclosure.
Yeah, that if you move it to August, now you're going to be competing with the WBC because they're still late
Yeah,
August.
they're in July. So I always keep an eye on WBC. You don't want to be close to that one. So they're July this year.
No,
And
they're
I even
August, aren't
talked
they?
on the ConsimWorld
July.
forum, trying to pick the dates to be what's the best date as far as where we can position ourselves. And
Yeah.
everybody said, yeah, go late August. That's the best. It's about 3 or 4 weeks after WBC, I think. So I always try to stay away from WBC. I would never want to be like a week after or a week before WBC. That would people would be burned out. They wouldn't be able to handle 2 events. That would be too hard.
It's true. Expensive too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot of gaming, and that'd be a lot of gaming in a short time. So I get it.
This is true. I did find my hat.
You lost your hat. Oh, you didn't have it for the,
I didn't have it for the
last time?
connections panel earlier. I actually called my hair.
I don't
looked
know who
all-
this
looked
Krantz guy
all
is either. No
different.
clue.
So everyone was thrown off. So Tim's asking, who exactly is this Kranz guy? So why don't you tell us about yourself, John?
Let's see. Well, I started in the hobby. I think I've shared this story with you guys already. I started the hobby early because I had an older brother. I was about 12, watched him play Avalon Hill games, Guadalcanal, Blitzkrieg, things like that. Then I started playing games myself with him with a brother in the house. Worked out great. And then we bought Kriegspiel together, all excited to play it. He hated it so much. He quit the hobby cold turkey after that one game experience. So I never didn't have anybody to play games with for a few years. And then I started a game club when I was 16. Which was I was pretty happy with the game club. It was in Ventura, California, where I was growing up. I was 16, like a sophomore in high school, and we had like 60 members, mostly adults. And I just have an affinity. I like running things. I like organizing things. You don't see me playing games, or that's not my big focus. I really like to focus on supporting the hobby. And I think that's always been my foundation, is whatever I do, or I have done over 25, 30 years. It always goes back to, I enjoy seeing others enjoy the hobby and facilitating things we can do to support publishers, customers, you name it. So that's sort of me in a nutshell. And then I do some other stuff on the side. I help Compass out, and if Bill gets tired of me, he can just fire me whenever he wants. I'm helping him out on a contract basis, so it's nice to help him where I can. So I've been doing that about 3 years now, and then of course running ConsimWorld independently, as in these events, is obviously an example of that, and then the various websites we have. So, and then I do some other stuff on the side in the HR technology industry. So I'm all over the place.
Wow.
Pretty much.
Wear a lot of hats.
Yeah, I got to buy more hats like you have.
Exactly.
And Dallas Stars. I'm a Dallas Stars fan. Got to slip
you
that
go.
in. We're hoping to make the playoffs this year.
There you go. John's another hockey guy. So
right.
he's always like, I can't do this tonight.
Can't do
I
this
got hockey."
Thursday. I got the Stars are playing at home. Oh crap!
Then
I've
he's
already
like, "Hey,
talked
can
to
you do
Bill
this?" I'm
about,
like,
hey,
"No, I got a
can
game."
Mo guest moderate or be the guest host? I go, no, John, I don't care if we skip a week. I'm like, no, we got to do it every Thursday. We got to make it a pattern.
Yeah.
But he said, no, it's okay. Just change it by one day, or So it just sometimes I have conflicts on Thursday nights if there's a home game, because that's my date night with my wife. So I don't want to cancel out my date nights. That would not be good.
No.
Let's see. Tim's very close. Yeah, I know Tim's very close. I thought he had signed up for this year already. His name looks very familiar. So I hope Tim can make it out end of August. Websites hasn't launched yet because I'm redesigning the site, but I'm going to get that done in the next week or so.
There you go.
Great to see Tim there.
And there was one up here that we had from Devil Pup 60. There's a famous Cav. So we got
Where do
famous
these
kept
people-
short.
Where do these
I was-
people get these comments from?
I was going to ask, just in case people don't know, what's the fee this year for the convention?
Yeah, so there's two different fees. So I'll start with Tempe because that's the long-standing one we've had for 20 years. So it's always the same price. It's $100 for the full event, about a week long, and for a 3-day pass, it's $60. That's never changed, mainly due to the contracts I have. I'm committed through 2025, so it's locked down. And then for Dallas, we did our first one in 2020. I'll probably share some pictures here in a moment. But we did our first Expo Dallas just recently in March. It was like a week or two before all the hotels shut down due to COVID.
Yeah.
We got it in. We just got it in, and a few people didn't make it to the event because yes, COVID was in the news and people were concerned. And anybody with any health concerns should definitely not be traveling at the time. So we had a few cancellations at the last second, but we got through it, and knock on wood, nobody said they got COVID as a result of attending in March 2020.
Yeah.
Last year, in 2021, we didn't do it. We couldn't do March of 2021. And then we were going to do March of 2022, but then things got really complicated with the hotel. They went under new management, and they jacked up the rates by about 5 times what I paid in 2020.
Wow.
So I don't know why, but it seemed across the board, all hotels in the Dallas Metroplex were basically pretending I was getting married and wanted thousands and thousands of dollars. So I decided if I could keep it to less than 5 figures, it could be a 4-figure investment in the mid 4 figures, then fine. I want to hold it because I'll do at least break even. So we're going to hit break even already for Dallas with the 100 attendees. But it's $75 to answer your question, Nate. So it's $75 for the full Expo Dallas event. We actually charged only $40 in 2020 because it was an intro event. It was our first year, and I did it as a loss leader. I'm not going to charge a lot for a first year event just to get people to show up. But I was hoping to go to 60, but once the hotel told me what I would have to pay, I had to do 75 so I wouldn't lose a lot of money on it. So 75 is going to be pretty much it for Dallas moving forward, given what the hotels are requiring now for payments.
Well, I think everyone can understand that.
Yeah,
I mean,
no choice. I mean, I'll tell you, I was spending a lot more time than I was expecting negotiating, and I even worked with other hotels, and I had the people agree to a verbal agreement and even the paperwork to sign, and then I would get, the director says we're not going to do it now. You got to pay 4 times more. This was not this hotel. This was another hotel I was looking at. So I was getting bait and switched. It was it was a very long process. And same with Tempe. I had to, even though with Tempe I've got a contract through 2025, I had to restructure the event because of COVID. I knew we would have a few less people probably going into this year. But I think we're going to be fine. But negotiations have gotten a lot harder with hotels. Surprisingly, I thought
You would think they would be eager for the business.
I thought they'd be
or-
eager for the money, but they're not. They're happy to say no unless you're willing to pay a top dollar now. So a little
because of all
concerning
that-
for future years. Hopefully they'll settle down a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's because of COVID, because they lost all that money all that time, that now they're just like, well, we know people are going to want to do events again, and so
Yeah.
now we're going to charge a premium, and we're going to
And
see
it's
how
year to
long it
year.
lasts.
So with Tempe, it is through 2025, but they're giving me the flexibility to rework the contracts because since COVID hit, that was a big hit for us, and we completely restructured last year because we knew we actually physically limited the attendance last year because of COVID. So we capped space at like 140, 150. Normally we're 300. So and the hotel was perfectly fine with that. But now as we're coming out of COVID, hotels have gotten very aggressive with their price structures. It's I am spending a lot of time with hotels in negotiations. It's not a simple process anymore, but I'm happy to say, we're good for 2022. We're off and running for Dallas next month, and we got good 100 attendees now. And once the expo site in Tempe launches, I've been hearing from everybody like across the border, Canada, UK, they're all antsy to get back because of COVID. They couldn't travel last year in August by air. It was not possible. So we're going to have a very strong turnout, it looks like, and there's no limits on capacity or attendance for Tempe in August. It's going to be open. It's going to be open season. So we're looking forward to a full recovery.
Damn, I wish I were closer. I'd get out there, but that's something like 14 hours away from me. I'm not
Driving?
gonna yeah.
Driving, yeah. That's from
I
the
got too
States,
many
it's-
little ones. I'm sure as hell not flying with all of them.
Dallas is probably closer for you, I think.
Yeah, come to Dallas.
Kev's going to be there, I think. Kev's going to
Yeah.
make it. He's going to try to make it. And then
Yep, I'm
Mo
definitely
will be
coming.
there. And hopefully we'll get a little side room for Mo so he can do some interviews for his podcast on the side during the event as well.
Yeah,
Like we
Kev
did.
can do some too.
Kev can definitely do some interviews there. Absolutely. I'm going to work to get that a little private video room for you guys set up.
Cool.
So
That'd be awesome.
Cool.
Yeah, I think Greg and I are going to do some stuff on his solo games. So we're going to.
Oh, are you?
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to interview him
Oh, good.
for sure. So we'll see who else is there, and we'll work it out from there.
Excellent.
And let me know, Mo, if you want me to show pictures or anything.
Yeah,
of,
yeah. You
either
want to go
events.
ahead and we'll add that to the stream.
Okay,
So
so
everybody
what
can
I've
see
got
the
here is
expo.
this is the official website for Dallas. I'm redesigning the Tempe site. It actually hasn't launched yet. Usually every January it launches, but with the hotel negotiate, everything just got. My time was really short this year, so I'm in catch-up mode. I haven't done like the fundraiser drive for ConsimWorld every year, which is usually January as well. So everything's late. So, but the good news, it's late August, so we've got a good runway. If the website launches in the next 1 or 2 weeks, we've got plenty of time to get everybody registered. But the website for Tempe will end up looking like this, what this is for the Dallas site. So here's the hotel site, obviously. It's the same hotel site as 2020. We're now 22 days out from the start, which is Thursday night, May 12th. This just talks about it's based on the expo in Tempe. It's the same concept of that venue, but it's more of a regional event that's 3.5 days long. Definitely a shout out to Gregory Smith. Greg is our special guest of honor for this year. So next month he'll be coming out. He'll be demoing and play testing about 8 different designs of his. Some are printed already but not released. Others are in playtest mode with finished components that he'll have on hand. I'll show in a moment on the signups page where you can learn more about Greg's games. But yeah, he's done a lot of cool stuff, especially solitaire, around solitaire games. Just to give you a background, I'm going to switch over just to show you a little bit about what the event's about. So this is in contrast to our Expo Tempe event. In Tempe, we have a 6,000 square foot ballroom as our main gaming hall. As you can see here pretty clearly, this is actually broken out into smaller rooms. So we've got the wargameclassics.con. So there's a theme for the event for Dallas next month, which we did in 2020, which is classic games from the 70s and 80s. So that's your Avalon Hill games, your SPI games, your GDW games, original games from Marshall Enterprises, other companies, you name it. So we have a dedicated room for the classics, which we actually spotlight in our game sign-up sheet. And then we've got also the monster games. The bigger games are in there because there are people looking to play bigger games for those 3.5 days. And then we've got another 3 or 4 rooms off to the other side that you can see here. Game room 1, 2, 3 in the demo playtest area. So that's all dedicated space as well. And we'll use them for specific things. So Gregory Smith will be in the demo playtest in the Catalyst room that we're showing off to the right. And then we do have a exhibitor sales room. So we have at least 4 or 5 different representatives. We've got Desert Fox Games, which is like decision games. They'll be there, but they're repping many different publishers. I believe they'll have Compass Games there, products, Clash of Arms, products, Pacific Rim, etc. Then we have Steve Jones from Blue Panther Games, who does Holland Spiele and a few other companies. He'll be there. And we have, I think, at least one or two other publishers that plan to be there. I don't think Marshall Enterprises is going to be selling games on site, but they're going to be there in force. They're doing a big play test for their next release for this year. So they're coming together as Marshall Enterprises plus other participants to do a big focused session. And they're one of our major sponsors. It's Marshall Enterprises and GMT Games are the 2 major sponsors, and then RBM Studios as well. And then we've got other sponsors as well, which I'll go back to just to the homepage just for a second. We do have a lot of support, meaning the good news is this means door prizes. So the companies you see here are providing door prizes. So although they might not all be there in person and attendance, like GMT Games is not there to sell games, but they will be shipping like a big box of games for door prizes, which we'll be giving out. So again, a good mix of companies providing door prizes. And then back to the venue itself, just to show that again. So again, these are just pictures from 2020. So you can see here, it's that concept of we've got a big hall with different breakout rooms. The good news, it's all in that one sector. It's all in that one wing of the hotel where everything's located. So as you walk through, you'll see we got a big glass room to the right. That's the registration room, as well as the flea market tables. So we have flea market tables in the room, and that's also where you register. You can't miss it. When you walk in, it's the one big glass room that takes up the center hallway, and then you've got breakout rooms around it. So it's really easy to find your way. Again, classic war games, right? So here's an example from 2020 of I love these classic games when they're brought, like if Kev did Walk Them Ryan or something, I'd be like, oh, this is awesome. But I love these older games, from the 70s and 80s being played as we had in 2020. Here's that glass room again. You can see the flea market tables being used besides where you register.
Bringing a lot of games to sell.
Yeah.
So.
Here's Blue Panther games with their setup. So we have a dedicated exhibitor room with set hours. So here's Blue Panther, repping 3 or 4 different publishers, as you can see. Then Doc Decision was there for Desert Fox games. So you can see he's got some games from Compass, SP Schroeder Publishing. You can see a bunch of different publishers, Dan Viersen Games, et cetera, et cetera. So he's got a bookcase of stuff from other publishers. So he'll be back this year as well. So he's coming. So here's one of the gaming areas. So the only thing to really point out about the room, which let me see if I can turn on my highlighter just to make it a little more obvious what I'm talking about. So right here, I don't know if you can follow my blue highlight. I've got we added table numbers. And the reason we added table numbers, if anybody's using like say Discord or text on their phone and they want to meet up, you can actually just designate a table number with your friends. Like let's meet, hey, I'm at table 25. Meet me at table 25 at 6:00 tonight. That's where we'll set up. So we just do the table numbers to help people coordinate on where they're going to be playing. Just something to help people out, basically. And also, if we make special announcements about demo games, we can give the demo numbers that way as well, the demo table numbers. So that's sort of the story behind that. I think I have a few more pictures in here. So again, here's an example of a GMT's. Is that Twilight? I can't see the box cover. I want to say that's Twilight. No, it's not Twilight Struggle. It's a World War I game, I think. It's open
Path to
gaming
Glory?
area. I don't see a box. So it's a GMT game there.
Paths of Glory?
I see. Yeah, Path of
Yeah, it
Glory.
looks like
Then
Paths of Glory.
Combat
Yeah.
Commander is back there behind their shoulders. Got some games with some miniatures on the right and left. So yeah, it's open gaming. You can play basically whatever you want.
I think that's
This is
Hannibal
the
and
open gaming
Hamilcar over
area
there.
right here. Here's Combat Commander with a bunch of folks going on. Looks like a GMT game in the back there as well. Here's who on the left. I don't know who that guy is on the left.
Who's that
different hat.
jackass?
Samo's
So
there with
nasty.
Steve playtesting his modern Cold War series games that Compass is going to be releasing. So that's the playtest room right there. Oh, this was a fun story. Kai Axford showed up, and he was there I think it was 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. the second full day of the event. And somebody dropped in a few boxes of a free game of games for the flea market for like $5-10 a pop, or maybe $3 if it's a magazine game. So Kai's smiling because he's like, this whole trip was worth it in like a half hour. I think he had more than one cart of stuff. He just bought a bunch of stuff for like nothing. So I'm making fun of Kai here, but I mean, this is actually a big success story that if you go, there's a chance you'll get really good deals on games. I know
Right.
I've got stuff in storage. I'm going to be unloading myself next month. I have to. I have to get rid of games, so I let them go pretty darn cheap myself. But yeah, he made a super haul. He told me the prices. I was like, wow, did you thank the guy? He goes, oh yeah, I definitely thanked the guy. He made my year. So
Oh, that's
he's very
amazing.
happy.
That's so cool.
So that was fun. And then Mike Wilner was in town. He's based out of New York City, so it's great that he flew all the way down. This was an early play test he did for Prelude to Revolution, which is based on Russian Civil War, based on the Prelude to Rebellion system. It's a game published by Compass. This one's already been submitted, by the way, to the printer since I'm affiliated with Compass. It's one of my side gigs. I know this game's already in artwork, but he was there 2 years ago play testing the game. He did a nice job with flyers and such. This is all. So this I love because I love SPI brand games because that's just my fond memories being young. So I did the free SPI shirts. Anybody who signed up for Classic War Games in 2020, they got the white SPI logo shirt from me. And here they were playing Kharkov. They let me push a few pieces. I had played Kharkov in high school, so 40 years ago I played it last, Solitaire, and I had forgot there were some really cool rule nuances in the game I didn't realize I had forgotten about in all these years. But reading the rules and trying to jump in and play with these two guys, I was really impressed with the game system. It was like there were some really cool rules in there that I wasn't expecting to model that Kharkov operation. So I actually pushed a few pieces around, but again, yeah, you could play whatever you want, but this was the theme of the event. So, we gave them gifts as far as SPI t-shirts, which I was happy to do. And then I just thanked everybody. So after the event was over, just did some social media posts. Everybody had a great time. We didn't realize it was going to be 2+ years before we could get together again starting next month. But yeah, it was a great turnout. We had a few drop-offs at the end because of COVID concerns, but we had about 110 people, I think. So it was really great in that respect. It was, I really enjoyed I was glad to be able to do Dallas because actually there was I think Mo, you had a photo you want me to show that didn't show up for some reason. So I'm going to try to find it for you here so you can make fun of me. But there was a photo you sent me that I want to share if I can. I'm just.
Yeah, it was the opening night when you're doing your opening night address.
Yeah. So here I believe it's right here. So yeah, damn it, Krantz. I think that's where. So we did try to replicate Tempe's big events as many ways as we could. So we did do a welcome reception, and the reason it says "damn it, Krantz" is I don't know if you can read the slide, but I was announcing we were looking to do a regional event in Dallas like years ago, like 6-7 years ago. I could not find the right venue to do it. And so nothing for 2017, nothing 2018. Nope, not again. Nothing for 2019. Every time I'm at Expo in Tempe, they're saying, "What's the deal? When's Dallas coming?" So yeah, we finally pulled it off for 2020. So yeah, I'm excited to be back to do this regional event next month, May 12th through the 15th. So that's why it was damn it, Krantz, because like, when are you going to get it put together and make it happen? So that's what that was all about.
Yeah, well, you did. And the funny thing is, for those who were not there last time, you may say, wow, you got all these little breakout rooms. It's not going to be as good. Actually, it works out perfect because it keeps the sound down quite a bit when you're playing.
It's carpeted.
Doesn't have that. Yeah, it doesn't have that big buzz that you have in the gaming hall normally at most conventions, which is fun too. Don't get me wrong. But when you're trying to talk, you have to really talk up a little bit more. But it works out great, and you can really there's plenty of tables to grab, so you don't have to worry.
Big issues with bugs there as well, right?
With bugs. Yeah, so this was Tempe. So I'm now switching gears. This is Tempe.
That's COVID.
Which was sort of pulling a cat out of the hat because it was after the COVID variant strain hit, which was very challenging. But we decided to go for it, and attendees wanted to give it a shot, or they could just decide not to, which was fine as well, of course. So like I said, we capped attendance, but this is what happened in Tempe last August of 2021. So they had a special contraption that a lot of hotels use, a biodegradable spray that, obviously disinfects. So that they went around, 100 tables, 200 chairs, shooting this gun. I've got like a video of it. I'm not going to show the video, but this is what we went through in August. We took all these precautions. And I swear, I bought enough disinfectant wipes and sprays and other things. Somebody could have delivered a baby in the expo hall. I had so many cleaning supplies I brought with me. And the expo hall here, if you can see this is very different than our normal first 19 years of expo. These tables are very far spaced apart. So we had a social distancing. Obviously, at the table you're at, I can't guarantee 6 feet or more. No way. You're going to be sitting next to people, playing your game and touching pieces and sharing stuff. But between tables, it was more than 6 feet apart. So I know on social media, people were like, ConsimWorld Expo. I don't know. It doesn't look like too many people show up. Well, don't forget it's COVID. Don't forget it's by design. We got to cap it. Don't forget this variant hit. And yes, if you're going to do 6 to 8 to 10 feet between tables, yeah, it's going to look a lot different with a lot less people. So it was smaller. It was 140 people versus 300. And you can just tell by these tables being spaced apart. But, some might say that's a negative. Oh, not a lot of people showed up. I'm like, I'm just happy nobody got sick. Yeah. Nobody got sick during the event. It was very comfortable because there's plenty of walking space between tables. Obviously, they loved the extra room for a change. And we were able to pull it off. A lot of people were just missing in-person events. They really wanted to be there in person. So yeah, that was Tempe. And of course, the flea market in Tempe is much bigger than Dallas because Dallas is our regional event. And that's all it is. It's a regional event. We're not going to pull people from Canada all the time or international UK or a lot from back east. So we get, typically 300 people. So here's one attendee who brought, this is his first haul of games he brought. And literally we had about 70 to 80 feet of table space for flea market tables. This was like on the first day, and we overflowed it day 2. So there was just a ton on top of a ton of games. I think our flea market is just huge. And then there's a game auction we do as well, although admittedly the game auction didn't go as planned, didn't do very well last year because the number of attendees was smaller. But the flea market was incredible success. People were very happy with the flea markets last year. But yeah, it was a big challenge because literally we were having to do this, on setup night. Not used to having to deal with stuff like that. And
True.
the attendee updates I did last year were all about COVID, our regulations, what we're doing. They can change at any moment. There's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. But like I said, we took every precaution we could. Can't guarantee a positive outcome. But thankfully, nobody got sick last year. So that's my share. That's my show and tell for tonight as far as what I can show you from. And like I said, Tempe is a great event for those not going to Dallas. And we'll have a lot of people returning to Tempe this year. Definitely, if you can make Tempe one day, definitely try to make it because we have a ton of publishers, a ton of designers, and a ton of playtest sessions. And we do seminars there as well. So there's a lot going on there. So yeah. Aaron was thankfully let me try to figure out the rules to Kharkov after 40 years. So it was great being able to sit down with him for a few hours. Yeah, I moved a few pieces around. Just nothing. I didn't mess up their game, hopefully, but it was great being able to do that.
He wants to know if the shirts are going to make an appearance.
You know what? The shirts, they're in storage. I got to find them. So I'm going to go through. I'm going to spend a weekend. I've got 3 storage lockers now. That's really embarrassing.
Wow.
I've got no room at home. I've got no game room. I've got nothing at home other than one shelf here of SPI stuff. So I've got stuff scattered all over the place. So if I can hunt down the box of shirts, I'll do that. If not, if push comes to shove, I'll look at who's signed up for classic games. I need to show the classic game. Can I show the signups?
Sure.
I forgot one thing. So it's important to show how we structure the event. So when everybody, so we did things a little bit differently because again, just to help me organize things a bit better, so I don't go crazy. What we do now is we require registration payment in advance. Not because we don't trust, not that I don't trust anybody. It's just I have to track who's paid and who hasn't. And literally, if I do it at the last second, it's an extra few hours to figure out, which is really hard to do. So I can track things much easier if I just force it as you register. You won't show up on the registration list until you pay. So everybody on here is paid already, which is great for me just because I can track things, makes my life easier. So what we have here, the main thing here to see is the email addresses. It's optional. We'll see some cases there might not be an email address, but email addresses is really important to help with pre-game coordination or pre-event gaming before Expo hits. Like right now, can you do for Expo Dallas? So you need to know how to reach people. So we've got the names, the locations, and we did quite well. We've got, a lot of people outside of Texas are coming in again, which is nice to see, but it's really about the game signups. I'm going to go down here to the game signups. So the way it works is when you register, you have several choices. If you can make selections, great. If you can't, you don't have to, or you can add them later. But we always ask you first, what's your first choice? What's the number 1 game you want to make sure you have a chance to play? Number 2, number 3, and then if you want to mention some honorable mentions for some 3 or 4 other games, you wouldn't mind putting on your name on a list for. Help yourself. That's under the last honorable mention column. So what happens here on this sheet, let me highlight here just for a moment what's going on. So here we have the games obviously listed. If it's again, we're doing the theme for Dallas is classic, wargameclassics.com. So if it's a classic war game from the 70s or 80s, I'm going to highlight it. It's going to get a special treatment. And that just, gives it a little more attention. And then the way the signups work, you'll see some people's names here, no special colors or anything. But once we get here, so advanced squad leader, what's happened here is if the first game choice has at least 1 person signed up, that's a lock. That's a lock for like a reserved table space, or it's a lock that it's going to happen. So they get a blue color. So we've got 3 guys that are definitely going to be playing it. They can start coordinating. That's where that email address comes in handy to reach out to start coordinating on when you're going to start, what scenarios, so on and so forth. But then they do want to take note that we've got some second and third choice folks in here. So these folks should be part of the mix as well. So these people need to be talking as well. They need to find a way to network with each other by email because they see they have this common interest. So, and the reason it's green is it's just a green color by default. It's only blue if it's a first pick choice that has a match. So you'll see everything is green, and wherever there's a possible match, there's going to be sort of a green row highlights. So Don, Johnson, and Adam can get together and decide if they want to play SPI's Barbarossa at some point. They just need to email each other. But at least now they know. I put myself down for Battle of Moscow. I always want to play that SPI game, and it's probably plays quickly. So I went ahead and just threw myself down as an alternative. But basically, people can come in here. They can change. They can change their choices at any time. We do have special events. So beneath the Southern Cross test by the designer Bill Cooper is highlighted in blue. This one it's boldface. Not that it's highlighted in blue. That's just a match. But it has boldface type if it's a special event. We have several like that. So Deathrite Normandy series. Grognard Sims will be there in person, Chris Fasula. So he'll be there in person, the designer publisher. So that's a special event. Scrolling down, we've got designer of Kharkov Battles. La Bataille, I mentioned the Marshall Group is out in force. So the whole company will be out there for that. Mike Denson for designing Last 100 Yards, and his series games will be there. And then U.S. Civil War, because Mark Simonich is there. And then if you scroll at the bottom, it's a little hard to see here. We've got a list of classic war games. Let me turn the highlighter off. So classic war games, I have to scroll up a little bit so you can see it, but this just will call out all the classic war games that are in there. So these are just games from that main list. These are games just from the 70s or 80s that are that are looking for players. And then the last thing, it's the third tab on the bottom, just to help people out to know what's there. There's called Special Events tab. And if I look at the Special Events tab now, as I scroll, I have to scroll up quite a bit because it's a big sheet. So here you can see Gregory Smith is out in force. So we've got about 7 or 8 titles from Gregory Smith, designer hosted. It's either a tournament or a play test, or just it's something published that he's there to play. And he's going to be there with like 7 or 8 games. So we've listed out where it's a designer or publisher and what they're going to be hosting during the event. So I just want to share with everybody, this will help you hopefully coordinate on what you want to play during the event. We do it for Expo and Tempe, so we've been doing this for over 20 years now. This process seems to work really well. Of course, for Expo Tempe, it's a much bigger event with 300 people. So we do 2 meetups twice a day, once in the morning, once in the afternoon, to help network people together of who wants to play what. Also a big whiteboard in Tempe, so you can write down your text phone number and what games you're looking to play. So we do a lot around on-site networking. But this sign-up sheet's really important here, though, for people to really decide, what they want to do as far as coordination for the event. So thanks for letting me show that for a moment.
Sure.
There, just to show people how we structure things. And we've been doing it over 20 years, and it works.
And you have the Discord, too, which helps.
Right.
We've got the Discord channel. And then I'm going to try something new. So if anybody's on... There's some new software that hasn't been released yet. So I had the idea that if people want to meet others before the event... I can do a virtual conference where people that are going to be attending can join a virtual conference, and you can jump into a breakout room, meet other attendees. You can go in there and say, hey, I really want to play this game. Anybody on the call want to join me? Make a personal plea. But I'm going to be hosting, I'm going to run a test tonight right after our session tonight. So if anybody, and I'll post this URL. So if anybody wants to hop on, it's a virtual conferencing platform. And let me see, I'm not sure if I can post. Where's my chance to post here?
You can put it in the private chat, and if it doesn't go for you, then I can edit.
Yeah, I can do it that way.
So Greg B is saying, cough errata there. I designed Kharkov Battle. Oh, that's Greg Blanchett.
Yeah, I was.
Did I have the name wrong? Okay.
I was going to bring that up. I think you got Simonich on the play test.
Simonich is going to be doing
Battles.
the U.S. Civil War event, and Kharkov Battles is going to be Greg.
Gregory, let's see.
Special events tab.
So I thought Gregory Blanchett, designer of Kharkov Battles, right?
Yes.
So I have him listed correctly on the main sheet, but maybe I did a copy paste error. Let me check special events. That's probably what happened. Let me check Special
that-
events, car cop battles. Yeah. It's a copy paste typo. Sorry, easy fix. So what I'm doing is I'm doing a test drive. So that's the Bitly link. So after this, when we're done with this session, I'm going to jump onto this URL, and it's really a test run. I just want to see if people can try it out. I'll just start with a general session on there for 5 minutes to say, hey, let's try this new platform out. And then after my 5 minutes is done, if we have 3 or 4 or more people there, we'll move to a breakout room where we can have everybody can be on video chatting together. It's not just like us 4. It could be anybody with video can chat with each other, and you can break out into smaller groups. So I just want to give it a try at the end of today, just to see if the software works at all, because it hasn't been released yet. So I promised the group, I'm part of the early release testing team, and I said I'll try to give it a try this week with some folks, some willing volunteers.
So. And then the other thing is we've got the events with Greg, the Gregs. You got Mark Simonitz going to be there because he's local. And you've got beneath the Southern Cross, you said is the other one.
Beneath the Southern Cross, and William Cooper. And then, like I said, the entire Marshall Enterprises team, design team, publisher team, Doc Cummins from Decision.
Chris is the one that Kev wants to talk to.
Yeah, good. And then Steve Jones will be repping multiple companies' products as well. So it'll be similar. It'll be very similar to 2020 as far as the exhibitor sales area. But then having a few designers for sure is always nice to have a few designers there. And then Greg will be there for the first time, and he's hosting like 6 or 7 special events just right by himself. So he'll have probably the heaviest duties, because he's gonna have a bunch of stuff set up, and
he's a machine
for drop-in gaming. It's great. So if people are not sure what they're gonna do, you can almost just go see Greg and be taken care of for the 3 days, basically.
Is Mike Kennedy coming too?
Who?
Mike Kennedy from White Dog.
Mike Kennedy, I do not believe he has signed up. I will double check.
Okay,
but
'cause
I
he was there
I don't
last
recall
time.
seeing his name.
Yeah, he was there last time, so I thought maybe he'd be there with something. Maybe
Hopefully he can make it.
Play test of something.
There's still 20-something days to hopefully make plans to come down. The hotel pretty much sold out of our block, so we had a stronger than anticipated room booking happen. I was going based on our numbers from 2020, and we basically tripled them, which was completely unexpected. So the room block is pretty much gone. But the good news is there's in walking distance just across the way, there's another hotel, which I've already posted information about, and I'll probably send out an email blast to everybody that's available as well, where one can, it's the Hilton Inn and Gardens in Allen. It's very close by, and it's definitely worth checking out. Has a good hotel overnight rate. If anybody's looking for a place to stay, I would definitely check out the Hilton Inn and Garden, or Garden and Inn, whatever it's called.
So Nate, you can go there. You just have to get your pedal car started fast.
That's right. You can have your own dedicated Whiskey Charlie room.
Yeah, we could do a Whiskey Charlie show there.
Have
live
signage and everything. And
yeah, you got to show up. You got to show up, Nate.
I just checked it, and it's actually about 18 hours away from me. So
Tempe or Dallas?
That's Dallas. So
Ouch,
Tempe would be even farther.
Wow.
And I already promised the kids I would buy them a swing set. So swing in Texas this year is probably going to be too much for me, but I am going to look into seeing if I can make WBC.
But we have a special request for you to go, because Rich is saying he wants you to do
bar.
karaoke in the bar.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. I don't think worth a damn.
Well,
I'll have
we
to
might
wife
be
do
ready
that
for
though.
that. We might be ready for that after our Angola game. Rich is in on that one.
Yeah,
If people haven't been to Dallas, like Kev will be attending for the first time. What's really nice is across the street is like an award-winning outdoor mall shopping area, like an upscale area with multiple dining places to eat, and grocery store where you can take food into the hotel room, obviously, and just a ton of shops. So like even like if the wives are there, they'll be able to do shopping there during the day easily, just walking across the street, literally. And then the hotel bar and restaurant got very high ratings in 2020. People really like the food at the hotel in Dallas.
There is you've got the shopping center literally across the street. You could literally walk across the street, or they could take your car. And then you have the Allen Outlet Mall, and then the Allen and the Fairview shopping centers as well, about 5 minutes away. So it will be a fun convention if you bring your wife, because they'll have plenty to do. It's going to be expensive for you because there's a lot of things, a lot of places for them to shop at.
I know people like, I'm not the type that I can focus in and, hey, I can't focus in like at an airport hotel and just focus on gaming only. I need to be in a place where I can walk out and go somewhere. So that's why I never do like hotel airports. And that's probably why it took me so long to get Dallas off the ground. Obviously I could have settled on a hotel airport in 2017, but I just like I want to have a venue that's like very family friendly. You're not on an island. You're not just you in the airport. But it's you in a really beautiful place to walk and go shopping and get some fresh air.
You are right about that. As you can see, I got some youngins.
Yes.
And that was actually a problem at WBC because it's kind of out in the middle of nowhere. There's nothing really around besides that resort. You have to drive at least half an hour to get anywhere, even like a Walmart. It takes you a while to get there. So everything that they can do has to be right there. Yeah. So that would be a big boon for it. So people can bring their families and not have them be bored if they're not into the wargaming shit.
That's exactly why I don't do airports. I want people to go outside and say, oh, this is nice.
Yeah, I think I went to a con once that was at an airport, and it's like being trapped. So I think it's great that you're picking a nice location like that.
And it's good for people that meet for the first time at these events, like they'll network. And it's like, hey, let's go out. Or you can go to the hotel, bar, restaurant. But hey, we can just cross the street. Let's go out and chat, get some fresh air. It's so nice and relaxing. That's good for you. It's good to do that anyway. So it's a much nicer way to connect with people. You can just walk. And like I said, if you have a significant other that wants, you want to bring them or do whatever, it works out perfectly for that situation. So,
yeah. Yeah, there's plenty to do around here, and it's easily accessed right off 75. So,
and people have asked about COVID. What are the guidelines? And to be honest, we would follow any guideline we need to adhere to. But right now, there's no guidelines in Texas, so there's nothing as far as if you want to wear a face mask. Obviously, it's going to be optional. Nothing's mandated. Nothing's checked. It's wide open. So that's so there's no guidelines to post or announce. It is what it is. Yeah. And I expect Tempe will be the same in August as well.
This is true. And Rich is saying, Chewy's is Texan for I gained 10 pounds. You will gain 10 pounds there.
Especially if Chewy's there for sure.
Yes. And
Buc-ee's is great. Buc-ee's is awesome. So Buc-ee's is, take the freeway 75 north, about 10 miles. Buc-ee's is awesome. Yeah. My wife and I go there once a month, maybe, to pick up stuff. So, and we can give you all kinds of tips and tricks for those coming in that aren't familiar with the Allen area where we're visiting. We have a lot of locals, so we can definitely help with like places to go and things like that for sure. Absolutely.
So John's saying, can we hold on and wait till he catches up? Come on, John, you're behind the times, man. You'll just have to watch from the beginning on the replay. Good thing we're in syndication.
It will be recorded. So after we edit out all the horrible things we said,
yes.
After we get rid of all the political statements, we can post this, right?
So so that'll be great. And then it starts Thursday night. And it goes all the way until Sunday.
Yeah, starts Thursday. I believe it's at 6:00 and goes all the way till as late as you want on Sunday. Stay until you drop midnight or whatever. Can go past midnight even if you want. But yeah, most people will catch flights if they're flying in. They'll leave Sunday afternoon most likely. But
and
yeah,
Greg is super excited about Wiener Schnitzel.
There you go. Wiener Schnitzel's in the area. That's true. Oh, there's so many choices. It's a little scary. Yeah, there's like, all kinds of, it depends which direction you want to go with your diet. You can, what's that donut shop that was, there's a donut
Krispy
chain.
Kreme?
Krispy Kreme. There's one not far away from driving distance, about 2 miles.
Yeah, it's right
away.
up on Main. And then you've got
exactly.
plenty of
like
Italian places around. Yeah, there's plenty of food.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
and there is a coffee house. There is a nice coffee house, like a French cafe house called Frogs, which is in that award-winning outdoor shopping area. So you can walk to do a cafe with outdoor seating.
Or you can go up the street and go to your favorite joint.
Yeah. I mean, if you can drive, you'd have to drive it though. But usually I have my Armor Coffee shirt on. I'm a big cappuccino drinker myself. So absolutely. So, yeah, Buc-ee's is the Disney of Texas. Absolutely.
Oh, that's funny.
Absolutely.
They bought land in Disney have bought land in Texas.
Really?
Oh, really? I wonder where they bought the land.
It's south of Dallas.
South of Dallas.
Somewhere
what are they going to make? Buc-ee's World?
I don't know what they're going to call it, but they bought up hundreds of acres.
Wow.
So I think if Vince comes, I'm gonna get him a bucket of Krispy Kremes for his. I'm gonna assign him a numbered table, and there's gonna be a bucket of Krispy Kremes for Vince Reed, just for him for dietary reasons. I'm gonna make sure.
They're awesome.
So what games
There is
do
a
you
Hooters
have lined
nearby,
up?
John. Sorry, I'm reading the messages. I'll let you post them. Before
Yeah,
I
there's
tell
a
them.
Hooters nearby, not too far up the
Yeah,
road.
I actually like their chicken wings. Believe it or not, like I don't go there to dine in. I do like checkout food. I like their hot wings.
So he's
Quite a
from
bit.
McKinney originally, so he knows.
He knows.
You don't go there to dine in?
I don't.
You're
I mean,
defeating the purpose here, bud.
I know. I did it. I've done it so many times. Like in Tempe, where we had Tempe, there used to be a Hooters across the street from Tempe Mission Palms. So yeah, I used to go there every year in person. And now there's a Fuzzies. It's gone now, and there's like a Fuzzies instead. So
No Twin Peaks.
no Twin Peaks. No Twin Peaks that I'm aware of.
There is
There
one
is
near
in
me.
Plano. There's
There
one
is?
in Plano.
There is one in Plano.
Couple of
Plano
guys-
or Frisco.
I have to write
one of
that
the two.
down. I have to go.
A couple of guys I used to have lunch with up in Round Rock used to call the Twin Peaks the Officers Club.
So
They're
Kev's
all
gotta bring his,
ex-military.
Kev needs
I
to
couldn't
bring his
work out
Walk-Em-Ride
what they were
bookcase
talking
box. Kev, you need to
There
bring
you
your Walk-Em-Ride bookcase box. That looks wonderful. You need to
Yeah,
bring
I'm
that.
excited about that. I'm not sure. I've got to sort it first.
That's
so-
awesome. Oh,
Ooh.
yeah. Oh, I know there's somebody has a lead on new counter trays. I think if you talk to Mo, he can hook you
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
So what games do you have lined up, Kev?
For the con or
For the
yeah,
con?
so I've got Angola that I'm going to play with you. So that'll be a 4-player, and then I have a session with Greg to hit a couple of the different solo games. And I think actually we're going to play one of his 2-player games. Is it Pacific Tide that he did?
Yeah, Pacific Tide's a 2-player game with
Yeah.
a solitaire bot, but it's
Right,
designed. It's
right.
designed to be 2-player,
Yeah, so I
and
think we're
people
gonna
really
run-
like it. It's
Try
gotten
and
some
run
really
a couple
good.
of turns of that.
Yeah,
And see
you'll
how
like
that
that one.
goes. And then if I can get these guys corralled, the cats corralled on the show here, then maybe I'll actually have someone teach me how to play some DBA or some minis. So we might stick a minis game up in the corner, and then we'll see what happens from there. And I'm trying to think. I've got one other thing playing as well.
Silver Bayonet.
That's right, and Silver
Oh, yeah.
Bayonet. We're going to work that out as well. So
Are you
That
guys
has
going to try to
that
do
has a pretty
the?
deep rule set, doesn't it? That's a pretty deep set of rules, isn't it? Mitch Land
Yeah.
developed,
yeah,
added a bunch of stuff to it. It used to be that original GMT game. One of the original 3 was shoestring.
Right.
and
You
that
guys should
game's-
try to do Tank Duel while you're at it. You've
Well, I
been
think it's
talking about
good.
that for a little.
You mean
Yeah, I
Tank
think it's
Ace
part of
or
the
Tank Duel?
tournament.
Yeah.
No, not Tank Ace. I do want to try Tank Ace. I'm really looking forward to that one. I got that pre-ordered, but no, Tank Duel.
Did you
You
guys
could-
ever do Battle of Armageddon? I heard you guys were.
That was another one that we have not been able to get time where we can get the 2 groups together, but that's
darn.
another one we might try to. I'm going to bring
That could
along
be a
with-
Friday night or a Saturday night drinks
Yep.
and
It's
dice.
a whiskey game.
Yeah.
That's what it was in Tempe. It wasn't published by Compass at the time, but for several years in Tempe, in the foyer area, just outside the ballroom, in that foyer area, at late at night, people are screaming and hollering in Tempe, and the loudest group was the Armageddon group. It's
That's great.
It really, Carrie Anderson's there from Canada, and the designer, and people go nuts. People go nuts playing it, and it's late at night, and people have had some drinks, and it's a lot of fun.
Good
A lot
times.
of fun.
Nice. Yeah, we'll try to get that in there. But like Kev's saying, I had the same thing. I've got Angola and Silver Bayonet, and then of course Greg. We're going to be working on probably Kharkov battles, and then he's got another one of his games that he's going to be showing that he's testing right now that is going to be coming out.
No, that's cool. Yeah.
And,
I'd like to catch up with them, have a chat. I haven't,
Yeah, we'll make sure that we all get together, and well, I mean individually too. You can do if you want to get like an interview with them and stuff.
Yeah.
And then those are the 2 I have right now, 2 big ones, Silver Bayonet and Angola. Angola is going to be in the 6-ish hours, maybe a little longer, maybe a little shorter,
Yeah.
but that's like a 6-hour game. And then Silver Bayonet could be 4 to 6 hours too, or longer or shorter, depends on how that all works out. But that'll be fun. And then in between, I'm just going to try to pick up someone to jump in on some of these demos, play tests, like check some things out. Then I'll just pick up games because I don't like to usually schedule a lot of stuff when I go to a con. I usually just throw down a pickup game here and there because things change. You know, oh yeah, I planned on this game, and then I had this game, but we're still going on this game, and you don't want to give it up. You know, you're
Right,
like, I want to keep
right.
going. So that kind of throws off the schedule. That's
Exactly.
why I don't schedule too much.
Hey, speaking of which, is Mr. John Kranz going to have maybe a prototype version of Enemy Action Kharkov there?
I know John Butterfield received his designer copies already.
Yes, I was drooling over it earlier today.
Yeah, so I'll have to check with Compass HQ about what the possibility of that is. That's a good question. I have
So-
to check the release date. I know it's not
July.
I think May is too soon.
Yeah,
Maybe
it
a
won't be
month.
till like probably July, I think.
Yeah, I think it's further down the list, right? So
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, it's summertime. 'Cause
Oh, I
remember
gotta-
when
I'll have
the-
to, I'll check with Compass HQ because they're just going to be doing their own event this year. They're not doing WBC at all or any event other than Compass Games Expo in November. So I'll have to see if there's anything they'll let me sort of try to put out somewhere.
Mo, you've got a mission. If John is able to bring that, you
So I can
steal it
coordinate with Mo.
and send it to me
There you go.
secretly.
if I steal it, man, possession's not intense of the law.
I'll toss you a 20.
There you go.
Cool. I'll pay you for your services.
Hey, thanks, John. Appreciate that. There you go. Gimpy's paying for the services right there.
And then
Hey,
I don't
there
know
you go,
from
John.
the viewers, so I want to thank all the live viewers tonight. I'm wondering if they could chime in and say if they've ever attended a ConsimWorld Expo event before, or if they're going to be going this year. It'd be just interesting just to see. I'm most interested to see who's joining our live sessions at least. As far as have you been to an expo before, or are you planning to go to one? And would be really interested to see any comments, thumbs up or down on that.
So is this your first one?
So first time this
Yep.
year. So thanks, Fango.
And
That's awesome.
I think I saw Devil Pup is definitely there, and Aaron is there as well. I think
Yes.
Aaron, yeah. So
Was John
And then
Sai
I
saying he
think for
wanted
Kev,
to
I
go?
think Kev, this would be your first, right?
this will be my first. Yeah,
This will
absolutely.
be your first as
Yeah.
well. Yep. Yeah. Thanks, Jim. Yeah, I recognize Jim for sure.
Wrong show, John.
from Town Hall. Free game. Let's do the drawing right now. Enemy Action Kharkov. Just kidding.
There you go. Enemy Action Kharkov is a free giveaway for John.
That's
Gimpy's
great.
actually going to give
Thanks
up
for
his
commenting,
copy.
guys. On I can
Yeah,
see who's-
that's not going to happen. Gippy has been waiting on that one.
it will be
for
out
a while
soon.
now.
It won't be much longer now. It won't be.
Now,
out
I
much
do
longer.
remember it's going to be around my birthday. So that's why I was like, oh, perfect birthday.
There you go.
present's
Thanks,
gonna be
John,
like in
for
July.
attending the expo one. Yeah. Yeah, Chris was one of the brave ones in August last year. Matter of fact, I was trying to get Finish Front or one of these expensive games from Chris, but I didn't have the funds on hand last year. But he's got a great game collection, so he's.
What you got to do is you got to barter. You got to say, well, you know
I've
what?
gotta be
You
on
give
a
me
payment
that, and
plan
then I
with
give you
Chris Easter
a
for
free
that
couple of convention
That's
entries.
right. I'm gonna get on the Chris Easter. Kilroy, hopefully soon. Hopefully we'll get Kilroy in there.
Mm-hmm.
Greg, Greg, thank you, Greg. Dallas coming up, so great to have. And then, of course, with your design, Kharkov battle, so that's awesome. Scott's targeting it for future. We'll be around the future, so that's perfect. Jim's going to be both awesome. Tempe sign up. So obviously the delay is I'm redesigning the website. I got tired of the old website, just didn't think it was par for the course. So it's going to look very similar to the Expo Dallas website. I'm just having to redesign it, and I need about 1 or 2 weeks to get the design done, and then we'll launch online registrations for Tempe for late August.
Aaron's already got excuses for you.
Assault
Kev.
on Tobruk article.
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, that's a really neat. That's one of my favorite SimCan games he did. Was that one because I like the North Africa topic.
That's a
I'll trade
great
you both
deal
for
right
Case
there.
Blue. There's a deal. He's
War game of the
bartering
year,
it.
baby.
Yeah, I was going to say it is War Game of the Year. That's an even trade.
I am unconventional at this time. That's funny. Good say. Hopefully one day Tempe. Definitely want to check out Tempe. It's pretty amazing event. Definitely want to check it out.
Yeah, Dave,
awesome.
you got to join.
Thanks, guys, for responding. Good to see. A good mix of past attendees and those hopeful for
Yep.
future. So thanks for.
So now we got to get
responding.
Nate to come out.
I'm telling you,
Absolutely.
man, I would. How far is
Excellent.
Tempe from Dallas?
Oh, I don't drive that. Dallas, Texas is so big. Oh my gosh, going west be a whole day. I fly Southwest. I don't know. It's pretty far. It's 2 days.
Get
Oh,
to
yeah.
the toppest tree that you've got. jump off and flap your wings real hard, and don't stop flapping till you get to Dallas.
I'm not gonna fly, dude, and there's just no way. It's just too far. If
Mm.
I could drive, it would make things easier. But the fact
Sure.
that I don't drive puts everything on her.
Yeah.
And
Greg's in
that's just
Pennsylvania,
so
and he's
much.
driving out from Pennsylvania. He does ride shares. I don't know if you're near Pennsylvania at all.
No, I'm in North Carolina.
Oh, North Carolina. Okay.
Yeah.
John's saying Amtrak.
Amtrak.
It's taking
ride.
4 days.
That's
You
a
can leave
clever
on Monday,
idea.
arrive on Thursday,
could be
leave
sorta
on
cool.
Sunday, and arrive back home on Thursday or Wednesday.
You know, that wouldn't be too bad if I could actually get a sleeper car that was like a
There you
decent
go.
price to actually get out. That would actually be a thought. I wonder how much a ticket out there to Dallas like that would be.
On Amtrak, probably like
I
$80.
bet it's 3 times the price of a flight.
I think Amtrak's pretty expensive. Like I checked Amtrak
to
once,
see.
and I was sort of amazed how expensive they were. So,
You would figure the train ride would be a lot cheaper than a.
that's
you
what
know,
I thought.
plane.
But that's what I thought. I got sticker shock when I checked it last year for something. I was like,
Well, you
"Holy
heard what they're
crap."
doing with some of the,
Is this the Canadian
plane flights,
Rockies?
right? The plane flights are doing connections where they're flying you into Dallas, say, and then they're putting you on a bus to go to Chicago or something like that. You know, some of these.
Are you
plane
serious?
flights. Yeah, they're making connections using buses.
Yeah,
Oh,
they
pretty terrible.
can't really do that because if you plot a plane route, you don't plot a plane route through bus route through Chicago. That makes no sense worth it. Well, that's why the airline companies are going downhill anyway.
Yeah,
But,
I
yeah,
think
I'm
train
trying
rides
to-
would be cool, but they just seem expensive. I don't know why they're so
Kind of
expensive.
take a look here and see, just out of curiosity, what it's got for your for the return trip and everything here. I'm doing a where is
What
it?
city are you in, Gippy?
I'm near Raleigh. That would be the closest major city to where I'm out of. I'm not directly in Raleigh. I'm south of it, but it's relatively close to me.
Just want to see if it's got.
$264 is the average price. Trains
And
from
that-
Raleigh to Dallas, Amtrak tickets $262.
17 hours
But that's like per person or like per car?
per person. Dude.
Yeah.
Well, I was
Per
thinking
car?
like if I could get like a cab or something for that.
Fit 50
yeah, I'd do
people
that.
in a car. Yeah, there you go.
No, not like car, like the whole train car, but like a cab in a car. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Lowest price is $262. It's
Mhm.
1,000 miles.
Yeah. No, it's 1,200 miles from my house to Dallas. I looked that up. So
Yeah, it says here the distance Raleigh.
Yeah,
to
where are
Dallas
you
is
going into? You going
1,056.
into DFW Airport or?
I just downtown Dallas. I just typed it in. But see,
Right.
that would be the problem. That it takes away any of the cost benefit because then we would have to rent a car once we got there.
Yeah.
Yeah, to get to it. So it still wouldn't work out. It'd still be just cheaper just to drive ourselves out there, or even just rent a car here and drive out there.
Hmm.
Or do that thing like you see in the movie where I have like the wife stand out the road with her thumb out, and then as soon as the car stops, the rest of us run out. You got room for all of us?
I've had some people, gosh, I've had some attendees at Tempe. Just, some people, sometimes unfortunately people have tough, very tight budgets. Like they normally couldn't make the convention under normal circumstances, but they've like sold games in the flea market that like paid for their trip out. Like they
Yeah.
brought
Oh, really?
15,
That's
20
cool.
games because they've got a few hundred at home, and they're like, let me see how this does. So I've had conversations with people in the past that are like, money's tight right now, but I figured I could sell games and that would sort of be a wash at the end. So it's a little crazy. I mean, Tempe, God, there's so much going on in Tempe with the flea markets and the auction to make money. So it works out sometimes to recoup travel expenses for sure.
Jeff said he's waiting for CSW West Virginia. So Jeff, you're gonna have to be the ambassador for that.
I'd like to do more expo events because they're so easy to put together. Once you can see how it's sort of got its own way of going. So I always want to do one like UK or overseas or somewhere else in the States for sure. But it gets harder though because now there's Compass Expo, which I help support, and that's in November. So I've already got 3 events going on in the year. So if it was like Hawaii or Costa Rica or something,
Philippines.
I wouldn't mind like Norway.
Ooh, that'd be nice too.
No, not
I'd love to go to
Norway.
Norway. It's so beautiful there. Like
Oh, you
I
could
wouldn't
do
mind doing
Norway,
something just like for
Sweden?
family, unadulterated family. Put a family vacation on top of it somehow. Stack it
Could
out.
do Norway or Sweden, and then we can play live, full on Deadly Northern Lights up in
There
Scandinavia
you go. See,
Yeah.
exactly.
on
No.
location.
Sweden is a
location.
place I definitely don't want to go to.
Where?
Sweden.
Oh,
Sweden,
Sweden. Yeah,
Norway, no
I'd like
desire.
to go. I want to go to Norway. I really do. So I don't know. One
Yes,
day,
there will
one
be
day.
a flea market at Dallas.
Yes, the flea market in Dallas. I showed some pictures of it earlier, so you'll see it on the recording. So the big nice glass, all glass room where you
aquarium.
register. We put flea market tables along the perimeter where you can put out your flea market forms with your games, with your asking price, etc. So yeah, we have flea market tables at Expo. Oh, well, one important thing I didn't mention because the hotels are crazy now is I don't know how I'm going to spend. I've got to spend several $1,000s on catering for Dallas. So anybody coming to Dallas, you guys, Kev, Mo, you're gonna have a lot of coffee. There'll probably be some little side things going on. Like I've got a budget I have to spend. Like it's use it or lose it. And that's the way the hotel was. It's like, nah, it's not enough just to pay for the meeting space. We're now gonna jab you in the back with a required catering bill. That's a little
Oh, wow.
outrageous, but
Well,
I'm
does
gonna
that
have a lot
include
of coffee, a lot of hot teas.
Does
You
that
know, I'm
include
gonna
the
go
bar?
through- We're gonna blow through that budget. For
does that include the bar?
That would
I don't know,
last
we could
about
take
an
care of
hour.
that.
CBD,
Having
maybe we'll
one
have some
night.
CBD oil, some CBD gummies going on there.
I think we
I don't
can.
know,
Start
I don't
at
think the
top
hotel
shelf-
sells them, though,
top
so I don't
shelf
think
of
I
the
can take
bar
it
and
off the
work our
budget.
way down.
Yeah, we can have the bar, and if you're allowed to do it for the bar,
I don't know.
It's
I
covered
don't
in
know
one
if they'll
night.
do. Yeah, I'm afraid. Oh, the bar that could that 3,000. Yeah, 3,000 could be spent probably in 2 hours. That'd probably be
Just
dangerous.
just between Mo and I.
Yeah,
Yep.
that would be tough. That would be tough. But,
what's your most
but people will be
expensive
very
bottle?
happy
I'll
with
have two.
Dallas. You're gonna have plenty of caffeine in Dallas. Trust me. You're not gonna be able to escape the caffeine in Dallas
That is great.
when you're there. So no worries there.
Hey, as far as the flea market goes, do you guys do that like some of the others that I've seen where like the prices can change as
Yes.
the game's been on
Yes.
the shelf longer?
Yeah, yeah. On the
So-
form, you just people mostly just update the prices, or those that happen to be local that can print something out. They'll print out a new sheet the next day with reduced prices. But yeah, normally the old school way is you have your initial asking price. Things are always open to negotiation. Usually, depends on the seller, but it's pretty. Everybody's pretty easygoing once you hook up with somebody who wants to buy something. But you can cross out and change prices on the sheet. Not a problem. I have extra sheets there people can use if they want to. But yeah, usually what happens is over time, definitely the flea market prices will definitely drop. It happens in Tempe for sure because people don't want to take stuff on the planes back. So if something doesn't sell, the problem is you don't want to wait too long because if there's a game you like, you're going to lose it.
Right.
If you don't pay, that risk is always there, right?
So Nate's already figuring out how we can get out here and then go changing the prices on other people's games.
Oh,
So
yeah.
we
I'm
can
going to
then
make this,
offer
Locked
change
and
price.
Ryan box edition from Kev Sharp. Instead
$20.
of $1,000, it's $10.
$4.
Look, I got everything, and it only cost me $1.
That's right.
Well, I'm bringing a trunk full of games, so
Yeah.
to move, so I don't have to move them to the new house.
That's
That's
So
You're
they
gonna have
go.
a big
doing the
gaming
same thing.
area, I think. How many square feet is your dedicated gaming space going to be, Kev, for you?
It'll be like the size of two
Oh
small,
my
two regular
gosh.
sized bedrooms.
Awesome.
Nice.
That's awesome.
I think
Oh, man.
when it's done,
That's great.
We're a ways away from that, but in the meantime, I'm living in a 900
Yeah.
square foot barn with a
Sure.
lot of animals.
Yeah. I can really- That's going to be wonderful once you have your.
It'll be
It's
good
going to be a
times.
great. I'm jealous. You have a
Yeah.
great setup.
Yeah,
For sure.
you're close to having all your kids moved out in the next few years.
There's going to be no room for them. I can tell you that.
Turn that all into gaming space.
I'm shipping them all out.
Fly, be free. Boom. You're out.
And don't let the door hit you on the backside.
Exactly.
Somebody just mentioned, I think, a comment about the problem with going to Dallas is their family would have to visit. But the
Only
good
if
news,
you
like
tell
I
'em.
said, you could meet them across the street at a restaurant, or you could probably knock it out in a nice way for them, or you could treat them to a nice meal. Wouldn't be
Or
such a
you
bad
could just
thing.
not
So you don't
tell
have to
them
travel
you're
to their house.
You could just not tell them you're in town.
Yeah, there's always
Pro
that,
tip.
but you know what? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'll make sure I don't post any pictures of people at Expo Dallas in case family members scour the internet wondering where that person was.
Black out their faces.
I'll put a black box
Special operations mission.
around the face.
Hey, I'm
Exactly.
curious if that game sold. Just out of curiosity, John, do you remember if someone bought it for 400 or not?
Which one? Oh,
Oh, I
Talk
would,
about
I would bet they
Casebook.
would.
I've seen it as high as like 700.
Mhm.
yeah. I mean, there's definitely some people in Tempe that have disposable income, to be honest, but it's not to the point where it gets in the way. Like most of the people get really good deals, especially the flea market tables.
Right.
So, and then the auctions there at the end of the Tempe event, which will be on, I think it's Thursday night this year for Tempe. We're not doing an auction for Dallas. Just to be clear, auction is Tempe only. That will be on Thursday night near the end of the event. But anything that doesn't sell in the flea market, that's a good quality item, high end item, usually ends up in the auction. If it hasn't gone yet. So, of course, we tell them they have to start with a lower starting bid. Otherwise, it's a waste of time.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Charles, you're doing it wrong. If they're not moved out already.
Exactly.
But so any last comments here from anybody in the chat? And Nate, anything last from you?
No, I'm wrecked for the evening. I've heard the word John and Kharkov too much in one evening, and all I can think about is enemy action Kharkov now. It's just it's wrecked me for
So
the
have you
evening.
played Ardennes? Have you played Ardennes or
Yeah.
Tarawa or
Yeah,
D-Day?
yeah. I'm a big fan of Butterfield. I really
Yeah.
love his style and what he does. And I've always talked up enemy action Ardennes for the chip pull mechanic. I think it's a really ingenious way to handle it and the way that the combat works, because it still has that random factor that you want with like dice, but then it's accounting for the fact that you've got like mechanized and infantry, artillery support, whatever all you got going on, and it accounts for that in the chip pull. So it's like a 64 sided die
Yeah.
in the way that it works. So I really like that. It's one of the few solitaire games where it really feels like you're playing a solitaire, not like you're playing
Yeah.
both sides. You kind of get the point that I'm making.
Yeah, exactly. And I know he's doing a lot of games with other publishers. So, for example, at Expo last year in August in Tempe, he had On Hell's Highway was sort of set up like an early play test, which will be the new version of the Hell's Highway from Victory Games that New England Simulations is doing. Like I said, all the publishers come to Expo and Tempe, so you'll see everything there. So they were showing that and Butterfield was there as well.
You're just trying to
He
tease
usually
me.
comes to Tempe all the time, just FYI. But
Rumor has
yeah.
it he's coming to Dallas too, with 2 copies of Enemy Action Kharkov. One he's going to give away.
That's right.
Probably
Yeah,
Kev or me.
That's
will
right.
get
He
it.
just told me. As a matter of fact, I just got the message 5 minutes ago. My phone.
God, I hate you guys.
He said he was watching Nate. He said, tell Nate, I'm going to be in Dallas with 2 copies of Kharkov playing.
If he doesn't show up, I'm giving it to Mo or Kev.
That's right.
Look, John, when I first got into wargaming, Enemy Action Ardennes was one of the first ones I was looking at. And I was asking people, before I had the channel, before I did anything, what good solitaire games are there to get? And that was always one of the ones that was recommended. And when I finally got it, I saw why, and I really liked it. So I've always been a big Butterfield fan.
Yeah, he does.
Ever
He's
since then.
amazing. Yeah, he's amazing what he does. And then Chris Easter just posted, which I know we showed it. So actually, On Hell's Highway is going to get play tested during the Dallas event next month.
Very cool.
Which is going to be great.
Excellent.
It's going to be Shannon Cook, Pat Mulvihill, and Robin Roberts, who are Tempe regulars. They're coming down to Dallas next month to test On Hell's Highway, which will be, I think that'll probably be really impressive to check out, to see what he's done to the new version.
Yeah.
I'm sure they got some pretty good graphics for it by now. If Mark Hinkle's been working on it, if he's had a chance to do the graphics at all, they should have a pretty spiffy looking copy of that. And then I know, just with Compass anyway, I know John Butterfield, we're working on the World War II Commander series with John Butterfield, and we're doing a new title, hasn't been released before, on Market Garden, which is coming. But I know you're into the Enemy Action series. This is a different series from Butterfield, but yeah. So
Well, I like all
World
this
War II
stuff.
Commander.
Yeah.
Yeah, the World War II Commander stuff.
Yeah, like the Bold, like it was his.
Right.
It was originally. It was actually originally a board game, and then it was sold to Shenandoah Studios, done as an app for the iPad, as an app game, and then it reverted back to a board game, which Compass published. And now, so we're gonna do all of them that were done on the iPad. But this Market Garden is new. It's actually never been done before. It's a new design from Butterfield for Market Garden.
Excellent. That'd be
Should be a
fun.
fun one.
Oh, excellent. So any last words here, Nate, aside from no John Butterfield, no Enemy Action Kharkov? Anything
Oh, he
else?
said he's bringing 3 copies now.
Reach
Just
across
kidding,
it.
Nate. Just
I'm
kidding,
telling
man.
you, Mo, your mission is if John gets
When
one,
John gives me the copy and when gives
Yeah.
Kev the copy,
no,
I'm
you
not
sneak
sharing
that
it.
shit.
I'm not
You
sharing
got to share. Come on, you shared my the last good game that I really enjoyed.
That
Assault.
game has a lot of components.
Yeah.
I saw on Facebook,
Yeah.
John posted a whole. He laid it out really nice. Like everything sort of
Oh, it
spread
looked
out. It's
beautiful,
like,
didn't it?
oh my god.
Yeah, it does
It's
look
like a
great.
portfolio shot or something. Where's the model? You know, it's like it had the Vanna White look without Vanna White. It was awesome.
Well,
Kev, what
Compass
about you?
is doing real good as far as kicking out a
I'm
lot of
good.
really quality games this year.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, you guys done a great job this year, John. So far, been good.
Keeping busy. Knock on wood. We've got a lot of stuff sitting in the warehouse. Bill's built up a huge pipeline, which is from a business sense, it makes sense given if anything goes sideways with China later or whatever. We've got, a slew of new titles to release, for a year almost now. So
That's always
Oh,
good.
Speaking of which, Mo, I was going to mention this to you. You would find this humorous. So remember a few months back, we were watching one of their town halls, and we were talking about Compass Games World War One games, and there were a couple of them I was telling you I wanted to get,
Mhm.
and you recommended one of them, and I got that one. And then when I was putting it on my shelf, I realized I already had the other one, and it was sitting there. So you made the perfect call. I didn't even realize I had it. What's it
Nice.
called? The lamps are going out.
Lamps are going out.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. It was already on my shelf. I was like, I'll be damned. I got both of them. Tickle pink. I don't have to buy
So
it.
now you got second edition right now, right?
the second edition.
No, there's two models.
Yeah,
I think
two editions.
There's
Oh
two
no,
models.
I'll have to
there's
check it.
Lamps going out there. Second edition is a new one, and the first one came out a few years ago, and then that one went out of print, and then they updated it and put out the second edition.
This one's been there a little bit, so it's probably
Mm-hmm.
first edition.
Okay. Well, I mean, it'll say second edition on it. You can always do a quick look, and it'll say.
Well, you
But
definitely
either
made the
way.
right call,
Mhm.
because otherwise I would have had two copies of the same damn game sitting up there.
Nice. Well, I think that's going to be pretty much it for the night. I think we've covered everything for CSW Dallas as well as Tempe. And we've got I posted that up here. I'm just going to put this again here, expodallas.consimworld.com. And also we have
I'll have the
other,
Tempe one. Yeah, the Tempe one I'll just advertise through ConsimWorld when the site launches, within 2 weeks. And then maybe if you could post that meeting, that little test run I want to do. If anybody's on, and I'll start at 8:30 Central Time, 9:30 Eastern, which is in about 11 minutes from now. If anybody's awake and wants to do a giggle session for 5 or 10 minutes, I just want to see if the darn thing works. So, that CSW test drive. If you hit that URL, I'll be in there for a few minutes. If anybody can join, great. We'll discover together whether the software works or not.
Well, there we go. So go ahead and get to that link right there. And I will see you guys in about 10 minutes. Whoever wants to join us, we'll go ahead and give it a test for 5 or 10 minutes. But we will catch you guys on the next show. We appreciate you guys for coming out tonight. Oh, Gimpy's got
One
something.
last. I
One more
remembered I was
Butterfield.
going to give no, it's not Butterfield. I was going to give a guy a shout out. Turns out there's actually another fella who does a war game channel. He's smaller. He's got like 600 subscribers, but turns out he's local to me. We go to the same game shop. War Game Central is his YouTube channel. So just tossing out a shout out to the guy. Go check out his channel. Give him a sub. All that good
Go
stuff.
look at it.
Yeah,
Cool.
it's called War Game Central.
All right, I'll post that up there. War Game Central YouTube channel. Go check it out. Go give it a sub. He's only got 5. Let's make it get 1,000 here as soon as we can. That's what we're all about. Making sure everybody knows about each other's channels and helps each other out. And we hope to see you guys.
Yeah,
Kevin, I do hope, and John.
looks like I've got 7 people waiting in the lobby for this software test. So I might have to start it now.
Okay.
So I'll try to see if I can get the session started now for everybody, so they don't have to wait around another 10 minutes.
There you go. Well, we will see you guys on the next one. And those who are coming out to CSW Dallas, we'll see you in a few weeks. Have a great night, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.